Hey friends, Tony here from TL Yarn Crafts. If you're on the hunt for a stitch that always looks great, well, you found it. This is the Tunisian Crochet Block Stitch. If you're excited to learn this Tunisian crochet technique with me, be sure to like this video and consider subscribing to my channel for even more crochet tutorials, free patterns, and product reviews. For this tutorial, I'm using a 6.5mm Tunisian crochet hook and 2 colors of worsted weight yarn. The block stitch is worked over a multiple of 4 stitches plus 3 for the starting chain. For this sample, I'm working over 19 stitches. Starting with our first color, we're going to make a slip knot, place it on our hook. Here we go, wait, there we go. And then we're going to chain 19. So yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through for 2, here's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. From here, we want to take our chain, flip it over, and we're going to see these bumps on the back of the chain. And that's what we're going to work into instead of the front of the chain. So we're going to skip this first chain here, insert our hook into the back bump of the next chain, yarn over and pull up a loop. Insert into the next chain, yarn over, pull up a loop. We're going to do that all the way down the row for each of our 19 chains. So next chain, back bump, insert, yarn over, pull up the loop, and we're leaving the loops on the hook. Insert, yarn over, pull up the loop, insert, yarn over, pull up the loop. And you know you've done it right if at the end you have the same number of loops on your hook as the number of chains that you started with. So let's just do a quick count here. We should have 19. Fingers crossed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. All right, we did it. Perfect. Now let's do our return pass, and then we're going to change color. So to start our return pass, we're going to yarn over, pull through just 1 for a chain 1, then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and we're going to do that until we have 2 loops left on the hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over through 2. Just like this. So we've got 2 loops left on our hook now, and at this point we want to change color. So the color that we use for our foundation is going to be the color that makes up our squares. And the color that we use as our second color is going to be what fills the squares. So we're just going to drop this yarn. I'm just going to bring it to the back of my work just like that. I'm going to grab my second color, leaving a nice long tail. I'm going to yarn over my hook, and I'm going to pull through those last 2 loops with my new color. So now I'm ready to work with that new color. Now for the next row and the row after that, I'm just going to Tunisian simple stitch across the row. Easy peasy. So this loop on the hook counts as my first stitch, so I'm going to skip this first loop. I'm going to find my next vertical bar right here, insert under that vertical bar, yarn over and pull up the loop. Find the next vertical bar right here, insert, yarn over, pull up the loop. I'm going to do that for each vertical bar across, and again I should end up with the same number of loops as my starting chain, which was 19. So insert, yarn over, pull up the loop, leaving the loop on the hook. Insert, yarn over, pull up the loop. All the way across. Now for my last stitch, I want to flip the work towards me because I want to make sure I get under both bars of my last loop. So the way that we'll find it here is the first loop is right here, and the second loop is just right behind it, right there. First loop, second loop. Insert your hook under both of the loops of the last stitch. And by working under both of the loops of that last stitch, that's how we'll make sure that our left edge of our work stays nice and neat. So we're going to pull up the loop. So that's the last stitch worked. Again, you can count your loops at this point, and you should have 19 or however many you started with your chain. Chain 1, and for our return pass, we yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2 all the way back until there is just 1 loop left on the hook. Because we're not going to change color here, because our next row is going to be a repeat of this same one. Pull through 2 and through 2. So again, Tunisian simple stitch across. The loop on our hook counts as our first stitch, so we're going to skip this first vertical bar. We found the next vertical bar, insert, yarn over, pull up the loop. Insert, yarn over, pull up the loop, all the way across. So we're coming up on that last stitch here. We want to find those last 2 loops. Rotate the work towards you. It's actually a little bit easier this time because you can clearly see 2 cream colored loops here on the end. So we're going to insert our hook under both of those loops. Insert, yarn over, pull up the loop, and that's the stitch completed. For our return pass, we're going to chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, just until we have 2 loops left on the hook, because we will change color here. Yarn over, pull through 2, through 2, through 2, and through 2. So I've got 2 loops left here. I'm going to drop my cream yarn behind my work, bring my blue up, yarn over, pull through those last 2 loops with my blue yarn. So this is the point where we're going to make our squares. So what we're going to start with next is 2 Tunisian simple stitches. So the loop on our hook counts as our first stitch. We're skipping this first vertical bar, insert under the next vertical bar, yarn over, pull up a loop, insert, yarn over, pull up a loop in the next stitch. Now we're going to do an extra long Tunisian front post double crochet. It's a mouthful, but it's a lot easier than it sounds. We're going to yarn over our hook. We're going to find the blue stitch 3 rows down. So this is 1 row, 2 row, 3 rows down. We're going to find the front and back vertical bar. So it's right between my thumbs here. We want this loop and this loop. So we've yarned over our hook. We're going to insert our hook from back to front around both of those loops. Now we're going to yarn over, pull up a loop. We're going to yarn over, pull through just 1 loop, then yarn over, pull through 2 loops. That is our extra long Tunisian front post double crochet. Not so tricky, but what it does is it creates a bar of our box, but also gets us back to the correct height for this row. So now we're going to Tunisian simple stitch the next 3 stitches. So each of these 3. So here's 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to do our post stitch again. Remember, it's yarn over, find the blue stitch, and you can kind of massage your work. Give yourself some space around that stitch so you can find it. Make sure you go behind both loops of that stitch. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2. Just like that. Again, Tunisian simple stitch 3, 1, 2, 3. We're going to do that long post stitch again, yarn over. We're going to go down to the blue, working around both loops. So insert just around those 2 blue loops. Make sure you're not grabbing anything else. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, chain 1, yarn over, chain 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. Simple stitch 3, 1, 2, 3. We've got 1 more bar. Going down to the blue, working around that stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2. And now we've got 3 simple stitches here at the end. So we have 2 vertical bars, and then we have our last stitch, which I'm counting as a Tunisian simple stitch. So we're going to Tunisian simple stitch each of those. So here's 1, 2, work that last stitch as normal, rotating towards us. working under both loops of that last stitch to pull up the loop. Now here's a great place to stop. Count your loops. Make sure you didn't work off anything that you didn't need to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. So we've got everybody. Whole gang's here. So now for our return pass, just like normal, we're going to chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2, 2, 2, 2, and 2, all the way back until we've got 2 loops left on our hook, because then it'll be time to change color. So we're going to do that 3-row repeat again together. 2 loops left on my hook. I'm going to drop my blue, pull up my cream, and pull through those last 2 loops. And for these next 2 rows, we're just going to Tunisian simple stitch across, nothing fancy. So insert under the vertical bar, yarn over and pull up the loop. Alrighty, and we're going to drop our cream, grab our blue, yarn over and pull through those last 2 loops to complete the color change. So we're going to Tunisian simple stitch 2. So this first loop counts as our first stitch here. So we're going to skip this bar, Tunisian simple stitch each of the next 2 stitches. And now we've got our extra long Tunisian front post double crochet. Yarn over. We're going to find that front and back bar of the blue stitch, working behind it, yarn over, pull up the loop, chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2. Tunisian simple stitch 3, post stitch, simple stitch 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we've got a post stitch. Tunisian simple stitch 3, and our post stitch. And then Tunisian simple stitch the last stitches. There's 1, 2, and 3. This video was made as a supplement to the block stitch square as part of the Tunisian holiday sampler blanket. To get the row by row instructions for the block stitch square and learn more about this sampler afghan, visit the link in the description. Thanks so much for watching this video, and I'll see y'all next time.